Uh, okay. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a health empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I got a rogue brow. A rogue brow. Yeah, I sleep aggressively when I sleep. I don't sleep very often, but when I do, like I thrash around and I bury my head up against the pillow up against the wall. I do a lot better than I used to, though. When I was a little kid, I used to thrash and kick.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember that? Grandma used to say I used to thrash and kick. It's a defense mechanism because terrible things happen to me. Yeah. And then they wonder why people they allow terrible things to happen. And then they're like, why do people act the way they do? No, they know exactly why people act the way they do. They create the behaviors in society. And I was thinking about a little while ago, I was like, okay, things I've learned on my time on planet Earth, that once people start consuming alcohol, whether it's 12 years old or 15 years old, and if they continue that consumption, however long they consume till death, that is the point that they stop maturing as a human being, because you're not a human being anymore. You're a pickle. You're a pickle. Pickle's fun to say. I don't really like eating them though. And so I'm thinking, like, man, society's really getting warped. Well, it's a division of consciousness. You have all these people that are living in the past because they're pickled. And then you have people that are trying to progress and they're not pickled. And so it's creating this big old hodge. Look at all the weird stuff happening on planet Earth. Its consciousness is melding. Like, people are going to get a chance to ride planet Earth. It's an alien empire. It's a hodgepodge. It's nothing what they said it was. And I guess it's up to each and every individual to find out what the Earth is for them based on their experience. So I got an idea of the day. See, I got ideas, and if anybody wants to capitalize on my ideas, that's fine. Go ahead, take my ideas. Run with it. Just know that if you don't give credit where credit is due, well, poo on you. So, I'm seeing now the technology exists. Because because this Mom and I are going to watch this movie next. Because I watched this movie when I was 18 years old. On my own, because Mom changed the locks. Took my money and yeah. Hasn't always been a bed of roses. So because of this, it gave me ideas about how things could be. See, because I've always done the crap jobs. I've always had to do it's just how it's been. Because I'm a support staff. I play a support role, so we get the shit jobs. And so because I've had these shit jobs, they're not fun jobs. It's not fun to deal with the public. It's not fun to clean toilets. It's not fun to bomb. Well, some people think it is, but for me, it's not. Like, a lot of the things I've done for a paycheck in my life, they're not fun things. So I could remedy this by having fun while I do the crap job. And then I'm thinking of ideas that would make the crap job easier for the people that have to do the crap job. And then I go try and tell the management, and the management's like, no, we don't. No, that costs too much. They don't want. And then they play, they're at golf they don't care. There's people that care about everybody, and there's people that predominantly care about themselves. It's a balance, right? It used to be I used to work, and then I'd burn off steam by getting wasted. And then I'd waste my time by being wasted, not do anything productive. And then I'd have to go back to work. And it was a terrible, terrible cycle I was on. Thank goodness I got off. So, the idea is, Because that's why there's drones. Because of movies like this. So, you know, you got the, you know, oh, it's in a movie. And then, so, oh, we can make that happen. And then we have you know, we have what the mess that's over there. The mess that's over there. But you know what? We have our own mess here. And it's important that we clean up our own mess that we created. Whether me, the individual, dropped the freaking ball in trash or litter or whatever, or I didn't say something to the young, impressionable mind that explains we don't put garbage here, we put it here. If you put it here, you likely have aggressions, angers. It's a control thing. I don't have control because my mom put, you know, blah, 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 but I can put my garbage on the ground. Right? Okay, act like that. Then see the child act like that. Correct the behavior. This is why we don't do that. Earth is a living being just like you. She's just bigger than you, so you don't want her. Because you trash her, you don't want her coming trashing you. So don't do that, because Earth has all kinds of allies. Earth has crows, ravens, animals. Earth has all the animal creatures. Earth has all the friends. Humans are not making friends, or maybe they're not humans. Which are the alien? Are they the neurodivergents or the neurotypicals? Because one of them are not of this earth. So, the idea that I have is that I see that there is a job. There are remote controlled excavators. There's remote controlled tractors. There's all these tasks that can be done remotely, and there's all these people at home that are capable of doing these things, and I don't care about their age. I mean, if they would have put me in an excavator, I'm not even kidding, at 3 years old, because everything is a puzzle. Every machine has a rhythm. They all have the song that they play, even your car, and people know that something's wrong with their car because it's making an out of tune. I have a neurodivergent. I have a mind that they've been studying, okay? But they've looked at my mind and they're like, how does this bitch do this shit? They can't fucking figure it out. I'm not gonna tell. I'll tell them, but they just don't have the discipline that it takes to do it. So I don't have secrets. I tell everybody. I have the power of telekinesis. I can knock a lighter off your hand from across the room, just because cooperation is nature's way. But all these people that can't comprehend that because they don't have the mind for it or the heart for it, or they're out of alignment. For whatever reason, it's not for me to figure out why people are slackers. You know, the whole world is just so much slack, and it's just, the earth will not sustain it, that vibrational frequency. It won't. Everybody's talking frequency. I went to this store today. It was pretty cute. It was kind of cute. I don't go out much. I don't go into town unless I have. I don't just go into bee-bop-de-boo. Let's see who's at. No, fuck all that. Won't do. Ain't no place I'd rather be than home. And so, I go out because I got to get water. I went out to get water. And then I go to the grocery store because I make my dog's dog food now. So I wanted to get some bison, got some chicken, and beef this time. And so, I'm making their video because the kibble is it's sending them to an early grave. I feel like, and so I can do better because I love them. I can do better. That's what motivates me a lot in life. If you love it, do better, Marge. If you love it, get your ass up and work for it, you know? Like, foot prayers, people. So, the remote control, because things are growing, things are changing, right? I'm a powerless being on having an experience. Yes, there are things that I can control. primarily my attitude about how I look at stuff. See, it's so funny because I've been talking lately about how you could tell a lot about people because of the lines on their face. Like, I could tell a psychopath and stuff like that. And I just learned something new about ears. About old men with flabby ears. Ew, run, ick. Or old women, if you got these big old flab, ew, run, ick. Because we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and people are using too much of that experience to chase sensations, and it's pervy and it's creepy and gross. So that's an indicator when dudes have the big floppy ears and like the lobe comes forward like that, like it's two parts. It's like because he spends too much time in a state of arousal, and when people are doing that, then that's creepy. That's a lower vibrational frequency. So I go to the market and I see my friend Wheezy's working. She's the one that told me about the arm compression arm things. I don't need them so much in the summer when it's warm. It's mostly in the winter when it's cold. I just feel it just sucks. Cold sucks. But I mean, we're May and it's still they're getting snow on the mountain. So I don't, seasons aren't a thing. It's just whatever you get. Whatever attunement you're receiving for the day and that life experience, you will receive. How you gonna play with it? And then there is so I like to give my stickers out. It says straight people like rainbows too. I was 9 years old, and I always did the rainbow color like that. And so I gave some to Wheezy. I said, give them out to whoever you want, And she's like, okay, cool. And she's like, can I give? And I said, here, let me just go down here and I'll give them to him. There's a young man down at the end. I can't remember what his name is. And I said, here's some stickers for you. And he was like, real soft smoking young man. He said, I saw these around town. I was with my friends. And they thought it was like white power first or something. And my first thought was, young man, you need to find more friends. See, because people are so surface. They're surface. Humans are surfacey. They don't want to go down here because that's where the feelings are. So stay the fuck away from feelings, because feelings, people might get embarrassed. There's all kinds of feelings that they don't want other people to see them have. Right? So they stay surfacey. And then when you have communities where there's so many people in a condensed area where the people are born and raised, and the population of the town is mostly born and raised. It's like that in Reading, Omaha, every place I've ever lived, I have brushed up with the greatness of the born and raised, never having the privilege of being welcomed into any kind of community for any extensive time, because born and raised don't like outsiders. It's common knowledge. So, I could tell who's friendly. I can tell who's not friendly. Sometimes I can't. Anyway, so, and then when you have, within the born and raised, you have so many within that community that are stuck in the past. They're stuck in a time that they were carefree, fancy, before all their troubles, right? So they drank every weekend to go back and remember what it was like to be in that time that they want to be in. Rather than, people are supposed to evolve. When people say, you've changed, thank you very much, because at least I haven't stayed exactly the same. Like, I see it on social media. Every year is a clock where people do the same thing. Where I'm watching people, and now, like, they're going on, like, the people that I saw with the little signs, first day of school signs, all that program. Now they're off into college. And I'm just like, man, what kind of a teacher am I if nothing I've ever said has ever landed on these people? But they're stuck in the past. They're stuck in the glory days. Sons are still doing what fathers couldn't do, or fathers, grandparents. Like, it's just all this, you know, like, I think one of the worst things that a person can do is name a child after somebody else, because they're already continuing somebody else's storyline. Yeah. They never have the life of their own. There's so many babies being born right now, like in the next, now between the, like so many. And I thought, I had this epiphany because I didn't sleep last night. And I had this, I said, you know, I'm this little neurodivergent lady who was born in a time that it wasn't cool, it wasn't accepted, all this stuff, you know, that's coming out today. I've known about it my whole life. I never lived in a world where it didn't exist, understand. So when I tell people things that I've personally encountered, witnessed, you know, this is my life, and they're like, oh my God, that's horrific. But they don't try to create a society where that doesn't happen to children, women, boys, men, girls, people. There's just animals on earth, and they don't care. They will ravage you, they will eat you up, they will chew you up, and they will spit you out, figuratively, literally, however you want, for whatever power they're driven. And those are the people that are driven by that kind of power. Those are all the people that I stay away from. So my planet Earth is not as big as they say it is. My planet Earth consists of mom. It was funny, we started watching Laverne and Shirley. This one channel has Laverne and Shirley, but what I've come to realize, it's not all the Laverne and Shirley. It's just like a few episodes, like 4 or 5 episodes, and they just keep playing them over and over. And so it took me, like, I fell asleep the other night, and I woke up, and it was like the episode that it was on when I went to sleep, and I said, no. It messed with my mind. I figured it out, but that's when I figured it out, that it's on a loop. It's like, oh my God. So, yeah, I see the world getting better. It's going to be a better place. The world is going to be a better place. But first, the astrology that I hear, like June and July, I think there's going to be a lot of conflict. You know why conflict derives? You know why freaking dudes get in tanks and freaking planes and drive bombs? Because they're conflicted within themselves. That's why. And then they pay themselves to be conflicted. So whenever you see our boys and girls deployed, don't be sad for them. Don't be sad. Except that they shouldn't be doing what they're doing at all. Be sad for them for that. But they're getting paid. They're getting paid hazardous duty pay. When we are the hazard, they get tax-free pay. And depending on who their buddies are and their arrangements, rubbing elbows, you know, who they're doing what they could just get tax-free by flying over a dangerous area. This is all the stuff I saw when I was on Crete. I'm like, I see how war is a business. I see how they are putting the money in their pocket instead of giving it to single moms like I had growing up. And it's just perpetually gotten worse year after year, except they've been allowed to do more creepy, pervy stuff. I understand Washington, D.C. and Hollywood, they're the same. They're all paid actors. Because if you put anybody, any athlete, you take them out of that element and you put them in an element where they have to, like, I don't know, not do that thing, but be a fucking person, they can't do it. They can't. Because people, I look at it like this. Everybody has this as their potential. Everybody has this as their potential. Most people in life Well, stay here. I look at that as the regal, the ego stuff. And that's what the kid at the store today, when I told him, when he's like, my friends think it's a white thing. And I'm like, your friends are fucking... I said, well, your friends can think whatever the fuck they want. I said, and then he got stuck on the purple. Because I said, purple is my least favorite color. And then he was, oh no, the vibrate. And then he went on, and I just, okay, cute. I'm really excited that you're frequentially speaking. You should probably go back to bagging groceries. Have a good day. Because, like, it's my fucking thing. You're not going to tell me what my fucking thing is going to be. You know what I mean? I don't try and convince people to change their mind. I've done I just want people to understand that for every action, there's an opposite reaction. There's for every... I know there's people that don't believe in karma. It's just that's fine, don't believe in it. But just, you don't have to, people don't even have to look at it. But for decades, since Vietnam, we have been going to places and for a fucking word. Liberty! Or freedom, excuse me. Democracy. It's bullshit, people. Dudes go over there, they're fucking doing good old American men. Then they get all wasted and shit. They freaking knock up this chick, knock up that chick. And then look at all the people that figured out Dad wasn't faithful when he was on. Because it's not real. I was in a 5-star hotel during my experience. The Panorama. Because everybody has a price. Yeah, sure. Let your GIs come stay here. It was so weird because it was during like tourist season. It was such a fucking surreal experience for me, I tell you. I don't think very many people had that experience because, well, they weren't with me while I was having it. I mean, they were having their own experience. I saw the 500 Marines going, oh my God, what did we just do? Fucking getting wasted and pissing themselves. I saw a lot of that. I had to close down the base, man. What people do when they're allowed to do whatever they want. It's kind of gross as we're seeing on the collective stage, I'd say, what people choose to do. I won't even touch things when I'm angry because it's an energy thing. I don't want the potential of my anger going into something else. So I won't do it. That's how people get cancers and shit like that. Like, nah. If I can't take my anger that's within me and take it someplace else and process it and get it all out of me and go back to being smiley, what the fuck good am I, huh? Only that attitude that I have for myself, I have for everyone, so. It's pretty cool, yeah. So... yeah, here was the view from my hotel room. That was Greece over here. I was in a bathtub. I'm like, dude, I am in the Truman Show. And the funny thing is that was my, oh, that's a guy I used to know. We'll get rid of that one. That's the lady in the lake.
Lady in the lake?
Look up her. That's another part of the radio I got to be tuned in based on my frequency, because when you got the good blood, you get the good assignments. Here, I was in the affinity pool right there, screwing around. Said, hey, can you take my picture? That's what they did. Yeah. So, art imitates life, so it can imitate art, and then life can use it as a legal defense. The gig is up. I know too much. And I'm telling everybody. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, Tanya, what's up? All right. Mom and I are going to go watch the movie. Bye, God, for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day.